That's what we're focusing next today on the program, and Kayode Ajulo joins us now. He's a former National Secretary of Labour Party. He's also a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning. From what you've seen, all of those protests, the submissions by the federal government, what's your impression of what you just saw?
Well, it shows the things to come. We have to be sincere. Yesterday, everybody that watched that, we know that it's quite frustrating, it's unfortunate. And that is why we believe that we Nigerian government need to take the issue of workers so serious. And that is why, if we are talking of capital in the world, people, human capital is the best. When you are talking of technology, you see people are the best technology. And that's why these people need to be utilized, people need to be rallied together. And what happened yesterday is just to show a minimal displeasure. That's the way I say it. Minimal displeasure of the plight of Nigerian workers. And again, today we'll be talking that Nigeria is in recession. We'll be talking that the productivity is low. Certainly it has to be low because you did not take the workers along, you did not energize them, you did not mobilize them. You need to really help them for them to really put up the best. But unfortunately, that is not what it is. And again, you have to know one thing. In a situation where today workers are not being paid, in a state today like a place that somebody mentioned, Kogi yesterday, over 15 years, how did you want such state to work? And this is not only in Kogi, in some other states. And what did you expect? So what happened yesterday is more or less an opportunity for workers to minimally show their displeasure to the system.
Do you think that the states are doing any better? Because if at the federal level, unions, labor workers there, at least were able to get their voices heard, how about the states, other than the ones you've mentioned? Are they, from your perspective, doing as much as they can?
Well, we have to say it the way it is. The states, they are not doing anything. Majority of the states, they are even stifling the workers. They are even suppressing them. Even we have to thank the federal government that such a thing happened in Abuja. In other states, some states, they lock them out. They do not even allow them to even march or to do anything to show their displeasure. And again, one thing we have to know again in this matter is that the state, unfortunately, most of these governors and those that run the state, they don't know anything about labor. They don't know anything about human relation, and that is why they believe, and they will be complaining that their state is going down because they refuse to rally around. They really come and partner with the workers, and that is why. And I think the central working committees of the organized labor need to really address that, because today those states, their workers, they are in servitude. Even I want to use it. Slaves sometimes may be even better off than some state workers. Slaves, they are better off. We have to be sincere with ourselves.
You did hear the Minister for Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, say that a committee is being set up to look at the possibilities of this review in wages for workers, which is basically what's been agitated for now. Don't you think that this is one step in the right direction? How do we give life to that very committee just so that it comes up with something positive that will make the workers happy?
You know, one thing is this, except the minister seems just want to be clever by half here, because it's so clear that when it comes to wages of workers, but compensating workers, the minimum wage act that has been set, that has been endorsed, that's assented to law by the former president, it has to be reviewed every year. And I believe that from the day that law comes into operation, that committee is supposed to have been working, and by now we should not be talking about setting up the committee now. The committee is supposed to have been on for long. Saying that today, I believe, is maybe because of what happened yesterday. He just wanted to have something to say. It is so preposterous that you are just talking about committee that's supposed to have been working for the past 5 years, because every 5 years there is a need to review the wages of workers. And apart from that, when you see the ILO's position is that every 4 years so you must review the compensation, you must review the salary, the wages of workers. And for the Minister of Labor in Nigeria to now be thinking of setting up the review committee of such nature just now, I'm sure this is not the best thing to do.
How is this going to play out for you? Because you have
the right. I believe he's just saying that just for the sake of having something to say.
Okay, how do you put this in perspective? You have a minimum wage that's 18,000 naira for now, and the workers are asking for about 56,000 naira. What do you see? How do you see this working out at the end when states are unable to even pay? Some states are unable to pay 18,000 naira minimum wage. As a matter of fact, a lot of those states are even owing salaries. How is this going to work for you?
Well, first, it depends on priority. It depends on what the state places premium on. And that is why quite unfortunate that when it comes to issue of workers, states supposed to pick every premium on the welfare of their workers, particularly if the state want their state to work well. But unfortunately, they are not doing that. And I see this as being a callous on the part of the state. And some state governors, we have to be sincere, they are wicked. It says that when you look at how much are we talking about, 18,000 naira. This is something that the cheapest champagne some of these state governors takes a bottle, 15,000 naira cannot buy it. And again, we have to be sincere here. Today, states keep on shouting that they cannot pay this money, this amount, which is even which is to the barest. And I believe we cannot. I believe one thing that ought to be done now is for the workers. They need to sit up. I must say this, and I have to accuse the workers. I know some of my colleagues may not like what I'm saying now. They need to be pragmatic. They need to take it to the front burner. Power, you don't hand power. You take it, you grab it, and the best way to do is just to continue to bring it to the front burner. By the time you look at the history of minimum wage in Nigeria, right from the time when it started from Shagari, that's 1981, it has never been on a platter of gold. Workers fought for it. We fought for it. Even the last time when President Goodluck Jonathan signed the minimum wage into law, it is not something that they gave on a platter of gold. If you remember, he did it during the eve of his election in 2011, and because he believed he wanted to win the election. And I believe, if the Nigerian workers need to sit up very well, they need to discuss, they need to know what to do and how to engage the state governors in ensuring that minimum wage has to be paid. The workers need to be taken seriously. Unfortunately, they are not doing that. At the right time for them to do this, all they will think of is election. And during the election, that's when people will be wooing the workers. Why don't you make that one part of the bargaining, put it on the table that you have to do this? And unfortunately, they believe if they roll some money in, workers will vote for them. And that's why we believe our workers, we need to sit up very well. State must pay, and we must ensure that they pay serious premium on workers.
If we get your point, you're saying that at the moment, from what you've seen, Labour, they're not doing enough to get their voices heard.
Yes, I want to say that they are not doing enough. Though they be ready to reel one or two things they are doing. That's why I traced this history from 1981 when we have the first minimum wage in Nigeria. It was Shehu Shagari that made that possible, but it wasn't on platter of gold. Workers fought for it. Even some people lost limbs, some people died over the matter. And since then, even if you take the history down to the Olusegun Obasanjo, before we allowed 5,500 then, we are living witness to how workers collectively with civil society sit on his neck to ensure that this happened. And even like the last one during the Goodluck Jonathan, it was like, that's why I mentioned that it was assented when they are close to his election. It was part of what was agreed upon, that you do this for us, we are going to vote for you. But now, workers, the organized labor, they need to sit together. They need to the heat must be on the government. The government should be able to do it. They are for the people, and the majority of workers, they are They feel the
All right.
whole shock of the people. And they can make this happen.
We'll go to break now. Just hang on. We'll come back and let you tell us how that can happen, connecting it to politics. Join us again.